you ready for a little Southern humor mixed with relevant topics we can all relate to? We're about to pull back the curtains and mix it up. Scoot your chair up. It's time to talk about all the things and ask all the questions. Welcome to Get It Together, y'all.
Hi, everybody. You've got us on a good day. You have got us on a good day. We have got a house full, and just pull up a chair, and you're going to have fun today. And we're talking about a subject that is near and dear to me and April's heart. Hi, yes. You're watching Get It Together, y'all. My name is Cindy Larson, and I am your host, and I have a co-host.
My name is April Potter, and I'm your co-host.
Yes. We're here to have some fun today. We've got some of our favorite people in the whole wide world sitting on our couches. And see, what you don't know about me is I make best friends fast. So I've made one new friend just fast.
Just like that.
Yeah. And see how that works? So sometimes you run into people like me. I can be around somebody who I haven't seen in years, and we pick up right where we left off, and we didn't even leave off. So we're already right in there. But we're gonna have a show today about side hustles and what you do, how to start a business, how to get a new idea going. And if you feel like that you're wanting to try something new, or life happens and you get kicked to the curb, and you want to have electricity, and you enjoy still eating and all that stuff. What's a girl do? What's a boy do? And so we have got some people in the room that talk about kind of spinning different plates and making that happen, and how to be good at more than one thing. And that's what I love. Like, I think I'd get bored just if I just could.
Absolutely.
Only doing
could
one
not
thing.
Just do the one thing. No. This show is the core of my heart. I'm like, yay!
Yeah. So from the get-go, April and I were talking about different topics and everything, and she said we've got to do a show where we talk about the gig economy, and I mean that's a real thing. It used to not be a thing.
Yep.
So you can open up the paper and even find that terminology for job listings and that kind of thing. But we've got some interesting people here to talk about that. So we're going to introduce everybody right now. And so we've got Erica Gunlock, and she has been on a show previously. So if you have been watching our podcast, she's a repeat offender over here.
Listen, it's all about food for me and health. That's everything.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to talk about that and fit in some side hustles, I'm here.
And so just full disclosure, Eric and I, we have a shared interest in that we're both brand reps for Arbonne International. So it's fine to say that. We can say whatever we want to here. By the way, I will just say we can say anything we want to here. Did I just say that twice?
I heard it.
Okay. All right.
Heard it
I have a disclaimer. If you are Kathy and you want to pick apart content, I have a disclaimer for Kathy. Karen.
Yeah,
okay.
he's right.
Karen or Kathy. I mean, whoever.
We don't care what your name is.
I might rename you. The other day I was saying something about I'm married to my producer, and he was saying, did you get ghosted? And I said, no, that's not even what that means. He said, yeah, that's what it means. I said, no. And I had being ghosted and being gaslighted. I said, you're just being, no, then I had to learn there's a difference between the two. And anyway,
neither one is
gaslighted?
good.
Gaslighting is when you present one thing, but it's really something else. It's kind of like a smoke and mirrors. Oh. It's kind of like you kind of misrepresent.
Yeah.
Someone what they
Who
said.
deems these words? Okay.
I thought gaslighting was purposely getting someone angry.
No,
See,
I think
getting them to believe your
right.
reality.
I believe
is
what
not
you're
the
saying.
truth.
It makes more sense,
Okay.
but I don't know why I always thought that when I've heard that term before.
Well, listen, my nieces, they talk
Thought it was
about
making somebody
flexing.
mad.
Okay.
Oh, flex.
But wait, no, flexing your hair. Men do this.
Oh, wait.
When they do now my son is 17 and he's like Tom Cruise like all day long, and he's got the hair, and he we call it zhuzhing for the ladies, but you flex. So, of course, my farmer husband goes, this is a flex. I was like, that's what I think a flex is. But apparently, so they come up with these words and they like change the meaning. So who knows what anything means?
You can roll up in a nice car and that's a flex.
Well, yeah, I don't want that car.
Yeah, well, there's a lot you can use that word. But anyway, I don't even know what we were saying, but we're here to talk about all the things. So at the end of the Karen
and
Karen, so if you're a Karen,
any name with a K,
all those K girls, KK. At the end of the show, you put this disclaimer that says, at some point we said, hey, we kind of need to say that we don't tell our guests what to say and what not to say. The only thing I ask my guests not to really. I'm not interested in talking about politics. Really, anything else that's on the table. You can just talk about anything. But I'm just not interested in, because anyway, that's just my thing.
Well, I was going to say Donald Trump. No.
Stop.
Oh, man.
We're not going there. Like, we're just not. But
that's a downer, right? This
well,
show isn't about being a downer.
It's just a whole nother. So sometime we might just do a show and say, okay, we're gonna get it all off the table, and we're gonna have we're just gonna have a good discussion about it. It just has to be planned for, and it has to be like I have to get my head wrapped around being okay with talking about it. But everything else, I just feel like that as a society we just don't talk enough. And so we have our little isolated camps, and we're just afraid to talk to somebody we think that we might not
agree
with.
Yes.
And to me, I'm like, I have friend circles that I just say, I'm really caught right now. I'm like so in my head about this. So tell me where I'm wrong. Like, girl fight me, punch me in the throat. Like, give me, like, what am I missing here? Like, just help me get perspective on. I have to, there has to be another voice. And I say this sometimes, if two people agree, one person is unnecessary. If we always are going to agree, what do you need me for? Just talk to yourself.
But people really have a hard time with approach. People are so stuck to their devices. They kind of see this fairy tale land with social media that isn't always true, which has now become like the norm. So when someone approaches you with an opinion that puts you out of your comfort zone. I mean, that people get clammed up. They don't even know what to do. Oh my gosh, you talk to me.
Yeah, they get defensive. Defensive so quick.
Yes.
And then we've got Sonia McKinley. And we go back. We have done music together. We have done just friendships and just done, I'll let you tell your story. This is not for me to tell. But I think it's kind of cool that another brand rep for Mary Kay, we can be friends. We can be friends with other people that, I'm like so supportive of everybody's gig. Like, how can we best be each other's best cheerleaders. Yesterday I was talking to a mom who her only son just turned 21, and he announced that he was moving out. And she went into this, I'm just listening because I've been there. I'm like seasoned with this empty nest thing. And she was telling me like, what her plan was. She said, well, first of all, he's not ready. And I said, what makes you think he's not ready? Because I open his bedroom door and it smells like socks and cheese. I'm going, like whatever. and she's going.
That's a good combination.
And she's telling me that he's gonna text me every day, and I'm gonna make him promise that this and that. And he wanted to go spend $1,000 on a purple mattress and a frame and all that. And I said, you don't have any idea how much toilet paper costs. And she's going through all this, like her fears, and I'm listening. And I said, are you done? Because I'm about to get on you, girl, because you've got to stop it. And she said, what? I said, you've got to stop it. I said, this is time for you to stop being the smother mother, and I'm going to throw you some pom-poms, and you better just cheer all his mistakes now. And whenever he picks wrong friends, you just go, "Oh, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure it out." And you know, your role is now changing. But I said, I am fixing to climb all over you, and if you want me to, because you know, unsolicited advice is unwelcome always. So if you want me to, I will be there kicking your pom-poms back up into your hands, because that's what you got to do now.
They're going to have to figure it out. And as for myself, I still have to figure it out, right?
Yeah,
So that's why I love, you know, we call them side hustles, but they're my passions, you know?
Yeah.
And I have several that I really love. And yes, health is number one for me. So, you know, I do health coaching for people. I mean, I literally take people to the grocery store and show them how to shop, because they're telling me how expensive stuff is. And I said, well, okay, you know what? I like Bounty paper towels. They're nice. Okay. It's like, you know, a total washcloth when it's paper towel. Okay. But you know what? That fresh food over there is more important to me than a Bounty paper towel. So you have to budget what the most important things are and go for it. And so if she's the smother mother, as you said, which I'm going to use that for the rest of my life,
I love it.
which is hilarious.
Unhear that. You can't unhear
No,
that.
I can't
that term
unhear
growing up.
That child has to
Missed
figure
out.
out what's important mostly to them,
Yeah.
learn how to budget,
Yeah.
right? And maybe they're going to need side hustles. Whatever you want in life, you're going to get it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that they do. 21, I mean, and if they think they're ready, let them fly.
Hey,
go.
He has a good paying job. He's you know, and so I'm gonna be there to help this mother who, she said, didn't you watch, haven't you seen in the news where teenage boys go missing? And I'm like, and she said, but if mine was missing 2 days and I didn't know, I'm going, what difference is it going to make? We have 18 years, 18 summers. And if you haven't done all you need to do in 18 summers, you're on borrowed time anyway. And so you take, you know, every day as a blessing. And anyway, we're not getting on the mom show.
You either just, you know, sink or swim.
Yeah.
And they have to take that. You got to plunge in the pool and go for it.
Yeah.
You know?
But we have to become each other's, this is where I got off with this, but that we're cheering you on. My goal, if you're trying to make a success out of a business, if you know, there might be some like warning signals over there, but so many times my mom calls it sister set 'em straight. Why do we always think we got to be sister set 'em straight, and we got to see everybody's
or brother set him straight?
Right, brother set 'em straight. And you know, that's a staple in every Southern Baptist church, is to have a brother set 'em straight. But anyway, the point of today's show is that we want to talk about, you know, the real world of, in today's economy, you cannot have a house and have one paycheck coming in. I don't know how you do it. And you live alone, right?
Yes.
Speak to that.
Well, it's a matter of prioritizing, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And those of us that have gone through whatever particular layoff scenario,
Yeah.
it really is about doing inventory of yourself. What additional gifts do I have? What additional ways can I serve other people? And making those connections to see where that can happen. And for me, some of it happened within my childhood forward, with being in music and music ministry and music performance and the music business. And then, you know, there was an array of those kinds of things. And then, because I love people and trying to figure out how to connect even more so, it lent itself to additional avenues. I grew up serving in an office supply company back home, and that's how I cut my teeth on business, you know, making sure that people could find everything that they were needing, whether it be a file folder or a highlighter or janitorial supplies and all those kinds of things. So there was some of that has been with me, you know, from my youth up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as more recently within the pandemic, when the whole world was shut down and kids ate all the pantry snacks and folks were wanting something, then I thought, well, hey, I love to cook and I love to bake. So what can I help you with? And so that helped kick off some additional avenues for me with bakery items and things like that. And I'd already built out my website. And so it was a matter of integrating the e-commerce portion into that. So life is going to bring us challenges no matter whether we ask for them or not.
Prepare for impact.
Right.
Exactly. So the more that we can do to just prepare ourselves and open ourselves up.
Yeah.
Maybe I hadn't explored this before, but it could be a viable option now.
Yeah.
Right.
And same thing with, we were talking about music efforts
Yes.
before. So it was a natural foray into jewelry making and things like that. So you never know what kind of gifts that you have inside of you that need developed at whatever point in time.
Yeah.
And it could be at the most awkward time in your life,
Yeah.
such as the pandemic.
Usually is.
Yes, exactly. Or a recent layoff like some of us have experienced. And so I'm excited to be here today and to talk about everybody's journey and, figure out what everybody's doing from a side hustle standpoint.
Yeah.
And
Iron sharpens
excited to be-
iron.
Yes.
And we're just excited. I'm thrilled. I've heard a little bit about you. Before we get into, there's a couple things that in this show people expect from us because we've kind of set a precedent. And we're Southern women with Southern mothers. And we want to know, of all of our guests, did you have a Southern mother? And we want to know, something that you want to tell us about them. If they're not a Southern mother, we will let you stay on the show, but we will educate you. But,
is not Southern mother, not to be confused with smother mother, by the way.
Oh, right. Totally different things. Mother's coming all.
Two totally different
Yes,
things.
yes.
I
Thank
did
you
have
for
a Southern mother.
clarification.
My mother was born in Big Stone Gap, Virginia.
Well, qualifies.
In
Qualifies.
Appalachia, in that area. And so she's definitely country.
Wow.
Definitely country.
Do you have?
Southern.
I'm very fascinated by the Appalachian mountains
Rich
and
heritage over there.
I don't think a lot of people realize, one of the most common funeral songs is "Go Rest High on That Mountain."
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard this? So I might need you to look this up. Producer, we might need to look this up. But I heard that song "Go Rest High on the Mountain" was an Appalachian thing because when they'd bury their dead, they had to go high on the mountain because the hollers got washed out so bad that the graves would come up. So they'd have to bury people high on a mountain.
That's an interesting take. I know Vince Gill wrote the song.
No, he didn't.
Yes.
He wrote it. It's
Vince
not
Gill
PD.
did.
I thought it was like an
No, Vince Gill
old
wrote
song.
it. He actually
Yeah.
wrote the first verse and then completed that song in the second verse after his brother passed away.
So we need to find out, is that referring
It
to
sounds like a
Appalachian?
great story, but I don't know about that. It's
Yeah.
pulling
I
up
might
that he
keep
wrote
telling
it
it
after
until you
Keith
tell me not
Whitley
to.
died,
Yes.
actually.
He wrote the
Two.
first verse and the chorus, I think, after Keith died, and then when his brother died, he finished it. But, he could have got that analogy from
Or that
I
idea.
want to find out.
Yeah, that's
I might keep
interesting.
telling it till somebody
Tells
throws
you
the
it's
brakes
not true.
on me.
Makes
Because
sense.
I really like the story. I've educated a lot of people today, and now I'm on a podcast talking about it. Go rest high on that mountain, folks.
And somehow we're talking about that song and we're laughing. It just
We are,
Yeah.
because we're
a
Southerners.
funeral song, and we're
We're
but it makes
Southerners,
sense.
and everything's got to have a little humor. And if you can't laugh at yourself,
Oh,
then
goodness.
I'd just go ahead and put me high on a mountain.
Yeah, just go
you
ahead.
know,
Or
I'm-
get me
I'm
high.
done.
Or
I'm done.
No, put me high.
Whoa.
So,
Now the show just took a turn.
so what's something that your mother
never been
would
high,
do?
by the way.
What would your mother do or say that
It's high on
will
life.
kind
Come
of-
on, Joseph.
Amen.
You're killing me, Smalls.
what would be something you can share with us about your Southern mother?
Well, okay, I got something funny I can tell you. I remember when I was getting older and I realized that babies came from the belly of your mother.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you, I don't know if y'all remember when that dawned on you, but I remember because
We're not boys.
I
So
asked
that
my-
might be a different.
Yeah, by the way, I'm grossly outnumbered on this show today. There is zero intimidation here. My mother, I remember, when I learned that and I was asking her questions, you mean you have a baby in your belly? And she said, yes. And then I said, and then I deliver the baby comes out. And I said, Mom, does it hurt? whenever you have a baby? And she said, well, Jay, she called me Jay. She said, well, Jay, have you ever crapped out a watermelon? I said, no. She said, okay, that's about how bad it hurts. And I've never forgot that.
That's so funny. That. But, you know, I bet we've all had food babies, you know. Right?
Oh yeah.
You know,
listen,
you gotta name them and give them a decent burial.
I think we're supposed to be talking about side hustles, but let me tell you, when they tell you as a mom, they say after you have one, you forget the pain. You want to. Well, I did not forget.
They did not forget.
I did not forget.
Oh man.
Anybody that deals with health, though, you're used to talking about gut issues. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know about bowel movements from
Yes.
every person in
Yes.
the Nashville area. I'm pretty sure.
Today's show, bowel movements.
We're skipping around.
Well, listen, because that'll
Side
really tell you
hustle's
what's going
nothing.
on the inside. Okay.
We're talking about the small intestine today. That's what we're doing.
Oh man.
Yo, I'm not Southern, okay?
I know.
I don't have a Southern mother,
But you deliver cows.
well, that's my husband.
Yeah.
Listen, I bring the wine in case we need it, okay?
Okay. Well, there you go.
Because it is stressful.
Wait, those cows give you wine
No,
instead
I
of
just
milk?
bring it. I'm equipped all the time.
So you're cheering your husband on as he's delivering a calf.
Because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, there's so many things that happen there in delivery, even for, you know, a human, which is why we have, you know, emergency C-sections and all the things.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the same way with any animal. So, but we have lots of babies on the farm
So
right
you
now.
are a farm. You are a farm.
We have like
woman.
15 calves that just came out in the last few weeks.
Are you like a green acre kind of? Are you a bougie farmer's wife?
No. Well, I was in the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, listen. In the beginning, I was a bartender downtown, and so I would get home at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and my husband gets up at 5, so we were like, you know, and he looked like Hannibal Lecter. He came up to the front door and knocked on my front door, and I'm from not a great neighborhood. Like, you don't knock on people's doors, you know what I mean? And so this guy knocks on the door, and I come out.
You're in the country though, girl.
I know, but I mean, you can't take a girl out of the hood. Okay, you just can't. So, you know, so this guy knocks on the door, and he was scary looking. And I like cracked the door. I go, yeah, like that. And he looked at me, and he said, is the man of the house here? I go, no, but the queen bee's here. You know, because he was kind of like cocky, like saying it.
Do you have a chainsaw on his hand?
Well, I'm much nicer now, but back then I just didn't realize that people that lived here were so nice.
Yeah.
And he said, well, your hog's out. And I said, okay. He goes, you want me to get it? I was like, no, I want you to get off my property, you know, because I'm just thinking he's going to like steal my car or something, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, then I had to go chase him, and I didn't know how to do that then. Like, there's actually like a pattern of how to get animals back into a pen.
You
Yeah,
regret it.
I've never chased a hog before.
Well, I screamed. It probably looked like Paris Hilton gone bad. I was not good. I was so angry. And my husband, I was like, how do you do this every day? You know? Well, I didn't know what I was doing, you know? So, and that was a long time ago.
If you had to do it over again, you would have asked that guy for help.
Well, no. He looked like Hannibal Lecter. Get out of here.
Okay.
No. I mean, I didn't know. But now, I mean, I could never imagine being the way that I was.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say that, I say that lightly because, yes, I'm from the North. You can hear it in my voice. I mean, it comes out like shining stars. And I say pop. And don't tell me it's soda and don't tell me it's Coke because it's not. It's pop. Yeah. So, and Pepsi's better than Coke. Okay, I'm just saying. I know. Joseph's got a Pepsi. But
Sure is.
my family, you know, I was raised Catholic. There are lots of us. We didn't really have friends. We had cousins and aunts and you know, big celebrations, everything. You had to have a hall for everything, you know? So when I lived up there, we didn't have a lot of money. That doesn't mean that I didn't have what I needed. My parents would do anything they had to do. Side hustles was their jam. My dad would go out and clean houses, get them prepared for people to sell or whatever. And we would go with them and I would be helping. I mean, my older brother would be mowing the lawn. And if you got a heartbeat in hands, you can pick up sticks, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So that's how I roll with my kids because you need to see that life is not generated out of a gift from people's hands all the time. You have to do the work yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, you know, when Chad showed me how to grow food, I came from a place where it was like, okay, well, this is all we can afford, you know, which I say that lightly because my family's so wonderful and they taught me how to work hard. And so now I do a little bit of everything, because I was gifted with so many opportunities to see a different way.
Yeah.
And then Chad, my husband, showed me a different way with growing food. And so it just keeps going. The ball keeps rolling. And so at this point, yes, I have lots of different jobs. I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I really think that nothing is a guarantee. And I also got to the point when I was working corporate, I felt defeated in saying, yeah, I really need a raise. Like I would go and I would be open and communicative. Like it wasn't about going on big trips. I just wanted to go to Kroger and buy the expensive cheese.
And you just didn't want to have to take a calculator.
Well, dang, I didn't want to have to
school.
every time think, you know what, I have to put this back because I can't.
Yeah.
But I'd also, like I said, don't want anybody just to give it to me. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna figure this out, right? So when I was doing corporate, and I loved my job. I love people I worked with. I'm very good relationships, but I had to ask for more money, and then they didn't have the money to give me. Even if I put in 110% of myself every day, it was like, well, this is how much you get.
Yeah.
So I wanted more, and I wanted different things. So that's why I started saying, okay, well, what else can I do?
Yeah.
To do the things I want. What do I want to do? And I love to travel.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, anytime, anywhere. And I'm not the chick that brings 45 suitcases. I'm like, okay, backpack, let's go. Yeah, and a bottle of wine. Bring the Chardonnay.
I'll be calling you. I like travelers that go at the drop of a hat.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you a last minute girl?
I mean, it's harder
It's
now
hard
that I have
now.
a farm.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm not going to figure it out.
And those calves aren't going to birth
So
themselves.
that's the thing, right? And if we're in garden season, it's blowing up.
I want to know, does the do natural phenomenons like we just had the solar eclipse, does that have a effect on your...
I mean, I don't really know the answer. If Chad was here, he'd say, well, hell yeah, it does. He would probably know the answer of
You
that.
said with storms. One time I heard you say storms.
Is a thing. So,
yeah.
When you could get scared, anything that breathes is get scared. You kind of like clam up and you take shelter, you hide, you go into survival mode. If something is near to have a baby and something happens that is frightening, that usually would throw them into contractions. Mm-hmm. So anytime there's the snowmageddon that we had, whenever there's snow, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
That means the next day I'm going to be freezing my butt off.
Yeah. You got to get out there.
Yeah, we got to get out there because there could be a baby, that's out there freezing to death or because that's when they go into contractions and the babies come out. So, yeah. And I had to learn that the hard way and watch my husband. Like we literally a few times I walk in and there's piglets in the bathtub. I'm like, dang it.
That's illegal in some states. We've learned some of that.
Yes. Well, not forever, but if I got to bottle feed them in the middle of the night, it's like having a real kid,
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
so you did not have a Southern mother. Did you have a Southern mother?
I did. Originally from Kentucky.
Yeah.
She was. My father's from Alabama. Mm-hmm. But they had made their way at different times in life to Indiana. So I was born and raised in Richmond, Indiana.
Okay.
But there was a lot of the Southern influence.
Yeah.
Whether it be cooking, baking, all of those kinds of things from scratch. Oh, God. Food
Everything
to die
comes
for.
down to...
Yes. But some of the funniest memories I have as a child had to do with, maybe you guys can relate or not, but my mom would wear a house coat. Do you remember?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I would ask anything. I'm like, why are you wearing something over what you already have on? You already have clothes.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But it was their thing. My grandmother had one, and
what
she
did
had
she say?
She didn't really have a great answer. It was just kind of what they
did. It's a robe, kind of, but it's a soft material, but it's a coat, and they call it a house coat. And I've never thought about
Wait
it
a minute,
being
but
odd.
does she wear it to Walmart? Like people wear
Oh,
their
no.
slippers to
No.
Walmart?
No.
No,
Those are
this
supposed
was
to be house shoes.
Even when they were
there was
cooking,
protocol.
though, it was
Yes.
it was almost to protect the clothes. Like
Exactly.
Mom, they would
Yes, so
get
that was
dressed
the
for
final
church and then
answer.
put it on over, so it's like you're not messing your
Yes.
clothes up.
I like
So
Exactly.
does anybody remember the smoking jackets? My family didn't smoke, but my mom thought that was so, glamorous. She made my mom's a seamstress.
Yes.
Early on in their marriage, she made him a smoking jacket. I still have it. I may wear it on a show one day, but it's so cool. But if you watch old black and white movies, they would put on a smoking jacket to smoke so their clothes wouldn't smell like smoke.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
and if you ever watch This Is 40, the gal that plays on that, she kind of does the same. She puts gloves on, says her family's not supposed to know she smokes, so she puts gloves on and a cap and all these. She covers her and then takes it all off. I'm going, well, that's
dedication.
Dedication.
For it.
Okay, we're gonna
That's
switch gears,
commitment.
and before we get into some of this deep instructional stuff that y'all have got probably to share with us, and I don't care what you got to share with us, we're interested in it. But we do something called fun facts, and you may have thought of a fun fact. Maybe if April and I have a fun fact that triggers something that you always tuck in the back of your head, share it with us. You have a fun fact today?
I actually do. This is crazy. So I'm going to read it because I want to get it right.
Okay.
Andrew Jackson had a pet parrot, which I knew that
Okay.
from watching documentaries or whatever. But he taught him how to cuss like a sailor.
What?
Yes.
Parrot?
Yes.
I
And
love
so then at his
There must
funeral,
be a video.
they had to take him out of the funeral because the parrot was cussing. During the funeral, during his own funeral.
Takes a parrot to a funeral.
I guess
so
he
funny.
requested that he be there. I don't know.
I would
was
have
like,
had my parrot sing "Go Rest High" on that mountain.
Yes, exactly.
It's awesome. In Michigan, so I'm going to give you some state laws, some quirky laws that exist still on the books in some of these states. In Michigan, you can't sell your car on a Sunday. That was adopted in 1953.
Like still?
Yeah, still. You can't sell cars
So wait,
on
so like are all the car lots closed on
all the
Sunday?
cars are closed.
Shut your
Yes.
mouth.
But
Yeah.
I
It's
wonder
interesting.
if that's like personal. You
Is
know
that
what I'm
current?
saying?
Is that
It's
current?
current.
Like,
Is it
yeah.
like a law that they go by, or one of those laws that people forgot about and don't?
Well, you know what? Somebody in Michigan
good
can
question.
can message
can
us.
messages and tell
Let
us.
us know.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
car
know.
capital too, and they close the car lots.
Yeah.
Don't they? Isn't that where
Yeah.
Ford was?
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's in
I
Dearborn.
think so.
But like if I wanted to sell my car to Joseph
Detroit,
and I lived
like,
in
is it-
Michigan, I
It's in
couldn't do it on
Dearborn.
a
No,
Sunday.
not on a Sunday.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Come back on Monday.
In Wyoming, I actually love this one. But several years ago, NASA put a bill before Congress or their local house, and it got passed that in Wyoming, if you buy a new building and you pay over $100,000 for it, you must display 1% value in fine art. Isn't that crazy? They wanted
Wow.
to make it a law that you have to support that property owners support also the fine arts creative people in their
Wow.
local district.
Really?
Wait, so what does that mean? You have to like go buy paintings and put them in your new
Yes,
building?
you do. Yes, you do.
Oh, all right.
1%
I wasn't
of
following.
whatever
I
you.
was trying to like.
Isn't that
Did you
crazy?
see my brain going?
Wow.
Okay, listen to
Yeah.
this one. This is gonna. I'm telling you, this is true.
She's concerned
In
about
South
this
Dakota, it's illegal to sleep in a cheese factory.
one. Well, I'm going to jail.
What is this whole cheese thing?
It's over for me.
Isn't that just poor management? Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Like on
deal
the
with
clock?
I got
Or you just
problems
can't
with my
spend the night?
employees,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna go
Yeah.
and make this a law because I happen
You
to know
know,
somebody
you-
who can pass a law. Then I will have to be the bad
Your
guy. It's just
teenagers
like
are going out
there's
on
the
the
law
weekend.
sleeping
Yeah.
in the cheese
That
factory.
sleeping guy has too many side hustles.
How
He
many-
gotta take a nap.
How common are cheese factories in South
Yeah.
Dakota?
I mean,
I
I
don't
guess
know.
Wisconsin, maybe.
You know, and you tell your kids, when they're going out to have fun when they're teenagers, hey,
Yeah.
now don't get into any trouble now. Don't go out there and be,
Sleeping in
in
those
cheese factories.
don't you wake up in a cheese factory, Bobby.
If I hear you've been waking up in cheese factories, it's over
You're
for
done.
you. Speaking of that, in South Carolina, you can't play pinball if you're under age of 18.
What?
I know. I know.
Well,
Aren't those at arcades for kids?
Well, not in South Carolina.
I guess not.
So
Someone write in about this. Is that true? Dave and Buster's has got to be there.
Come on.
I don't know. It's okay. In Rhode Island, it's illegal to race a horse on the freeway, on a highway. Can't race them on the highway. You'll get. Okay, here's your choice. If you're caught racing a horse on a highway, two things: either a $20 fine or 10 days in prison.
When was that written, though? I mean, is that like from the 1800s?
Yeah.
That's what we had?
$20.
And back then, there wasn't a damn highway, so...
Well, I think it's funny you're missing the point.
Well, I am for all of this.
You can trade 10 days of your life for $20. That means that you're worth $5 a day. That's a decision you got to
It gets
make.
much worse when you race that horse through a cheese factory, I'll tell you this.
oh my goodness.
You better
They
not
will
be
throw-
sleeping.
They'll be throwing the book at you.
All right. Well, this is the last one, and then I'm gonna save the rest of these for another show because I love these. In Oregon, it is illegal to hunt in a cemetery.
Come on.
Yes.
Man.
Listen.
But I saw a squirrel.
I know.
I know. There's like a coyote
Come on,
coming
little
at you.
squirrel. Scoot over.
You better lure them away from the tombs.
Yeah.
Here, buddy.
Yeah. We better get clear because we're gonna get it.
That's funny.
Yeah. They'll put you down. So anyway, that's just a little fun fact.
I like it.
Yeah. Anything that come to mind, we'll move on to something that you really plan to say. But we just
I didn't plan
I
anything.
didn't plan anything. I just showed up to
I don't even know why I'm here. I knocked
don't
on the
either.
door asking if I could help catch your hog. And
Yes, you can. Yes,
you can. I had a friend that said no to that one time, and then she ran herself silly. So I'm gonna say yes. I learned something from this show already. Yeah, you got some hog. You better let head of collector. What's his name?
Hannibal
Hannibal
Lecter.
Lecter.
Yeah.
She couldn't say it.
Listen, the cicadas are coming, okay?
Oh, what are we gonna do about that?
I bought myself a bee suit, and I'm going to wear that in the garden while I hoe that damn thing out.
let me tell you,
Not
those-
buy a
No,
boost.
I got it. I got it on Amazon, okay? I live in the middle of like nothing.
man.
So there's Walmart takes like 30 minutes to get there. So everything comes from Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went on there and I got the hat and everything. So I'm thinking, how am I going to keep these things off my face? I'm already upset about it.
Will you
can
send
see
us
it.
a picture of you?
I have a
have
picture.
to have
It's in
it.
my phone, but my phone's in my
yes.
purse.
Okay. All
Because
right.
I try not to be, attached to my phone as much as I can.
I think the producer should put it on the screen.
I walked outside. I know. I walked outside, and my husband was pulling in, and I just walked out in it. He
that's
goes,
so funny.
no.
No.
Mountain says sexy quite like a good bee suit. You had him buzzing.
It's all
Well,
right.
this is a 13 and 17 year this year.
Yes.
So when Chad and I first got together, we were together for a year. It was the 13 year. That was 13 years ago. And it was pretty bad.
Okay.
We had a lot of chickens then. And chickens eat those things like straight up out of the air.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like a feast. It was like Thanksgiving every
Wow,
dang
we're
day.
going to have some fat chickens. around
Dude,
here.
seriously, but now it's 13 and 17, so it's going to be twice as bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is.
I can't
Those
wait.
things, look,
I can't wait.
I believe if you've ever lived through the cicadas,
Oh, it's terrible.
then you realize at least a percentage of the reason that God created a hell is for those demonic bugs.
It makes me feel glad for all my side hustles that I can work inside my house because I'm not coming out for about 4 weeks.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Cicada sounds evil, doesn't it? Cicada.
Yeah.
Cicada.
Satan.
Yeah.
They're so close.
I'll be in my bee suit when I come out 24/7.
What kind of car did you buy? I bought a cicada. I think it sounds like a family van.
Don't mention those. It's Sunday.
So tell us what your side hustles have been.
Oh, sure. Well, I've had so many. It really started young when, look, I feel like that I don't know our ages, but I feel like we're probably close at least.
I'm
to
the
same.
oldest probably. I'm 61.
Okay. Well, I'll be 50.
Okay.
So I'm kind of stressed about that. Just to tell you the truth.
Well, it's okay.
but
Baby boy.
you little young, you're still wet behind the ears. Don't go on the cheese
I
factory.
got underwear older than you, but go ahead.
and you're wearing them right now. I think it started early for, I come from a very lower middle class family. My dad was originally a factory worker turned evangelist and missionary, but they had simple jobs. My mom managed local restaurants.
Okay.
She was into food, and y'all remember Duff's Smorgasbord?
Yeah.
Y'all remember
Yes.
that? She used to manage a Duff's there in East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia.
Okay, hang on, time out. My
Yeah.
favorite place on the whole buffet line was the Gravy, and the guy that would stand there and say, natural cream or brown. I love that guy.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Natural cream
I
or
didn't even know
brown.
about that.
And then,
No,
then
I remember that.
all you had to do was
It
stand
must
there
have
and
been
say,
trained.
natural cream or brown. And it was the Gravy guy.
Yes, I remember this.
What kind of job is that?
It's a good side hustle, gravy.
Be like, I'd be
People
like,
get-
I would
people get
be
into
first
gravy.
in line with my family, just scooting my tray up to this, and hear him say it. I'd be so pleased. Natural
You remember
cream or
the
brown.
Texas tornado cake that they had?
Yes.
Oh, it was so good. Anyway,
Yeah, go ahead.
so when we didn't have a lot at all, it was a week to week thing, and so my brothers and I, two older brothers, we got to hearing their friends talk about getting an allowance.
Oh.
Okay. Well, we went to our parents. We actually had a meeting.
A family meeting.
How'd that go?
Just me and
How'd
my
that
brothers.
go?
My oldest brother sounds like, you know what? We need to go to mom and this is the truth. We need to go to mom and dad. And I didn't. I was the youngest. I was like, okay, can give us money every week for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so we had a meeting and met with our parents about giving us an allowance, and so they agreed to give us, I think it was $2 a week each if we done such and such.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to do such and such.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't get many allowances at the time, but and it was just such little. $2 was quite a bit when I was younger, but once the allowances started going away and I was getting to be an upper teenager, I thought, man, it would be good to have my own money to be able to go, and I know mom and dad don't have it. I'd be asking, can I get $1 to go up to Food City and get something? No, we don't have it. So I knocked on my neighbor's door. Her name was Miss Seneca, not to be confused with Cicada.
Oh, okay.
Miss Seneca was just a sweet old lady, and I saw her out mowing her yard, and I remember this, she would mow the front yard, and then usually the next day she'd mow the back. She was kind of elderly, so she took her time. So I went over there and asked her, I said, Miss Seneca, do you want me to mow your backyard so you won't have to? And that was the first time that I ever thought, man, I can try to make money, And she said, well, how much will you charge me? And I said, 50 cents.
Oh.
I done took that job too cheap, I will tell you. But that was the first time that I remember ever doing something to make money.
Yeah.
Of course, then I wasn't old enough to have a job yet.
Yeah.
And so that, I don't know where I get that from, because neither of my parents were that way. They had jobs, and my dad was in ministry. My mom worked restaurants until she had to stop due to disability. She has severe rheumatoid arthritis, and so her hands and feet are crippled. But I don't know where I got that from, or maybe it was something I saw on television that subliminally maybe I saw somebody do something and make money, and so it just gave me the idea. But it comes in handy, and I really, from that point on, every summer I was raking leaves.
Yeah.
I was asking if I would push my dad's lawnmower around with a gas can, ask if I could mow somebody's yard.
Yeah.
I didn't like the work.
Right.
But I wanted the money.
Yeah.
And then when we get older, I find it interesting. You mentioned the pandemic. And I had a huge transition in the pandemic. My wife and I owned one of the most successful cleaning businesses in this city. We had anywhere from 214 jobs a week in the cleaning industry. We done short-term rental cleaning.
Yeah.
And we built that business out of nowhere due to another job insecurity. And we made it so successful, working 7 days a week,
Yeah.
just kicking butt. And then COVID hits, and one week we had 211 jobs. The next week we had 13.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I had 48 employees
Yeah.
and a warehouse to pay for.
Yeah.
And so things just started from there. The tourism industry here in Nashville, it was done.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't want you. They didn't want you here, and you can't do anything if you come here because
Right.
downtown is closed.
Yeah.
The mall's closed. The stores are closed. It's crazy. So that within a few months, I couldn't pay myself, and then I saw the handwriting on the wall. Thank God I was able to dissolve that business to someone else who assumed it, and they turned it into something insurance related.
Okay.
I think through Medicare to take that and work in helping elderly people doing
Yeah.
errands and cleaning. I don't know exactly,
Yeah.
but it went good.
Yeah.
And but I was broke.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, here we go again. Before that savings dwindles down, I got to think of something I can do quick.
Right.
And so I started looking at online. I would see a neighborhood saying, hey, we know the restaurants are closed, so we've got, Joey's Pizza's food truck here in the neighborhood. If anybody wants to,
Yeah.
I saw people posting on Facebook, and I thought, man, food trucks, I'm seeing them a lot more, because they could show up.
Yeah.
It was outdoors, so there wasn't regulation on that business.
Right.
And so one of the things I've done is then I got online and I looked and I thought, and I bought a hot dog cart, a New York style vending cart.
Okay.
And I didn't want to spend a lot of money, didn't have a lot of money to spend. So I had about $2,500. I found the cart used on Facebook Marketplace, bought it for $2,000. The other $500 got me my licenses, insurance, things like that,
Yeah.
which was a pain in the butt, but got through it. Got inspected by the health department on the cart, and then just posted on Facebook, hey, I can bring my cart
Yeah.
to your neighborhood. And
Wow.
it saved my life for
So it's
almost
kinda like
a year and a half.
Finding a need and filling it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
that's kind of what you've done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's what's so special about entrepreneurship is
Yes.
that it doesn't take a lot of money or an investment. When I started my cleaning business, what do you got to do? I went to Dollar Tree and bought cleaning supplies.
Wow.
I did. I didn't know a bit about cleaning, so I started going on YouTube. And then I started booking cleaning appointments on Craigslist back then. Y'all remember Craigslist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, but when that happened and collapsed, I had to find something else. It wasn't expensive. $2,500 is not cheap, but compared to other businesses,
Like a
it
brick and
was.
mortar is
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like
more
there's
than
any
that.
excuse. If you want to make money, you can.
Yes.
If you go out to the store today, go buy you a 10-foot 4x4 piece of wood. The 4x4 wood.
Yeah.
Buy a 10-foot piece of that, and if you get a square ruler and measure off a ½ inch all the way down that, you could probably cut about 280 or 290 quarter-inch slats of that 4x4, sand them down, put some stain on them, and they make beautiful drink coasters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go get you a $80 iron made with a saying on it, whether it's a scripture or something positive. Get that branded on all those. You got real wood coasters and sell them. There's just no
Write that
excuse.
down.
Yes,
Write
I
that
know.
down.
And someone actually brought
taking
that to
notes.
my attention, and I thought that's a great idea. You figure if you sell those coasters for maybe a 4-pack for $20
Yeah.
or $10, you got 280 plus of them. You could make $1,400 on a $10 piece of 4x4. So you got to be creative.
At some point,
Yes.
somebody decided you could bottle water and charge people
Think
for
about that.
Well,
it. You know,
Yes.
I'm drinking a bottle of water that, you can pay anywhere from $1 to, $3.50
I know.
Or
at a
more.
ball game or whatever more at the airport. And somebody at some point would have laughed at you for saying, We're gonna put
water.
some. We're gonna.
Guys, we're paying for water.
From now on.
Now that's a Coke
Lord.
product, and there's salt in it.
Forget
But it's
the
all
label.
about the
There's
marketing.
salt
It's
in it.
about
It's
telling
green.
people they need that water in the bottle.
I need some salt.
This
Kids
kind.
sure don't need that water because there's salt in
Yes.
it. They're flavoring it, and it
I
also is
I like
dehydrating
the
it.
way it's flavored, and I like a little bit of salt.
But it's
in
not
my
doing you
water.
justice. You don't need that.
Okay.
That's where puffy cheeks come from.
Shoot.
Listen, I think, look, if sleeping in a cheese factory is wrong, then paying for water is a blasphemy. That's what that is.
And at one point, 10-cent coffee, 5-cent coffee, that kind of thing. Somebody decided to market something and make it cute, and I just think we want to say it's magic. It's a little bit of math too, isn't it? Just that you got to put some sweat equity into it.
It's work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's tricky transitioning from being an employee to an employer, and where you can fire yourself every single day. You got to get back in the mirror and go, give me another chance. I'm going to do better. And then you let yourself back on, you hire yourself and say, okay. I mean, I'm going on 5 years that since I fired myself with cleaning for cleaning. I had a bad attitude. I'm not. I fired myself, and I hired somebody else that liked it, but I did not rehire me because I had a terrible attitude about it. But I know my strengths, and cleaning's not it. Although I do have an Airbnb, and I'm going to go see how they trashed it over the weekend,
Yeah.
and I may have to do some.
It's going to be
extra
ruined.
cleaning.
It.
It will be ruined.
You know.
But that will be my fourth job today. If I really take a look at my day, I started off early this morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and remembered that I needed to do something for one of my side hustles. And then I was meeting you, and I said, we got to have a flyer for our Show Me the Money event we're going to do. I got to do that. And then I'm doing this, and then I'm going to go check on my Airbnb. So I will have had spun 4 plates of potential income today. So anyway, what do? Like, you do a lot.
Yes, and it's an exciting time because the creative juices just keep flowing, even though it can be a really pressurized time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm still looking for, say, full-time employment, but in the meantime, these other things that keep going. I want to keep them going because it's the gap filler at a minimum at the moment. So teaching music lessons, and especially online, and loving that because it's so convenient through Zoom. And then tutoring as well. I had gotten my substitute certificate some time back. So tutoring is definitely a love. So many kids fall between the cracks with learning activities, so that's a natural inclination, and I love to help them, especially with reading and developing their skill set in that regard. And there's jewelry making. I'm wearing some of it today. I'll be posting more online, so I'm really excited.
We'll
about
connect.
that.
We'll connect all your website
links.
with our website
Yes,
with the
okay,
link.
that's so
and-
exciting. Yes, and then bakery activities. That comes to me very natural. So that's been exciting to serve people in that manner. I just did a big birthday party a few weeks ago, and some, we just came out of the holidays, so that's a really large time for, bakery activities or parties, if you will, and things like that. So I've got a lot that both needs to happen and then I want to do, and I wish I could clone myself into 5 more people, but there's just one of me,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I really believe that, a couple sayings come to mind. One is necessity is the mother of invention, that we've probably heard at some point in our life. So there's that. That's where, good. Anytime there's a gap, what have I been blessed with to pass on? And I think about my mother, for example, where she was industrious. She was a seamstress like your mother, and she could sew without a pattern. So that's where I get my love of textiles and fabrics and things like that. And watching that as a child, and then her uncanny ability in the kitchen to make it what it seemed like something magical out of hardly anything.
Yeah.
You know, I go in the cabinets like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of things in there, but we just ate. It felt like, you know, a magnificent meal. Right. Yes. And so those kind of things that she was able to pass on to me come to life all over again with these efforts. So that's really exciting. And then another saying that comes to mind, it was Albert Einstein, where imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. And that I have it posted on my refrigerator so that I can think of that every single day, is that, okay, God gifts us with these creative abilities. What are we really doing with them?
Right.
So
you have to have vision.
Yes.
What is it that you want? And those creative like abilities to like put that into words is like your vision.
Yes. And what I'm excited about now is if I can think about it and I can put that in some kind of form, take a picture of it, send the picture out. And sometimes people want something just from the picture before I even get it posted on the website. But then put it on the website, and at the click of a button, wherever they are, they can buy it, a good or a service, and then I can service them in that manner. That's very exciting to me because the sky's the limit.
Well, you're getting to do what you love. And that's what I love about entrepreneurship is that you truly get to explore the passions of what you love and serve people, you know, and then, you know, that's just so fulfilling as an entrepreneur myself, you know.
It is. And then the other thing that comes to mind is how we've all pushed ourselves in some kind of way, whether it was the pandemic that was the catalyst or not, could have been before that, but getting more familiar with technology. I mean, the smartphones that we may or may not have, the computers that are in our house or not. I mean, but there's something at either a click of a button, a phone call, a text message, some way to connect with someone else. And then there's the video chat. You can literally be talking to anybody anywhere, you know, through Zoom or, you know, another vehicle, so to speak. So it's really an exciting time to be able to not only push myself, but to connect in a new way. I mean, the pandemic was definitely the drought when it comes to connection, if you will. But as we've come out of that and being able to sit here, you know,
technology
just talk to
kept us together, though.
Exactly.
And entrepreneurs can do what they do with the tools that we have.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that before the tools that it wasn't possible, but you can just move a little bit faster.
Yeah.
We live in a day where we hold a computer in our hand and it goes with us everywhere.
Don't you remember being in school though, and they'd say, "You have to know your timetables because you're never going to have a calculator with you." Well, guess what? I do, Mrs. Richardson.
That's right, Mrs. Richardson. Go sleep at a cheese factory. So take that. But you know, there were days gone by that life was more simple, but we just have to make the best use of what we're used to now, and that's a quick instant gratification. But just this day and age, you know, with just social media, the challenge is to learn how to put yourself out there and to get, you know, cut through all the noise. I mean, that's where I admire April and some of the stuff you're able to do with just, you know, learning algorithms and times to post. And I mean, there's just a lot of science to that a little bit, but, you know, I feel like that one thing that I tell people when I'm starting something new, you don't have to keep me going, but at least help me get started. And I covet your feedback, and everybody loves to give their opinion. And so there are just certain things that are kind of across the board. Your friends and family sometimes are the hardest because they hold you in your history. Now, how many things have you tried now? And you know, so sometimes that they're the hardest sell. But I mean, my mom, she would buy something from anybody. If somebody showed up and said, "I need you to press peas all over your face in about 6 hours, you're going to chip it all off, but you're going to look so good," she'd go, "Why didn't I think of that?" She'd be doing anything, you know, like, because she's just going to like support. And, you know, my eyeballs are the most, the strongest part of my body because I roll them 1,000 times a day. Like, whatever, Mom. But, you know, you just have to find your niche and find your happy, and just be willing to put your back into it and work. And
I think
my family,
entrepreneurs are so driven, though. Like usually they know what they want, and I'm like her. If I want something, I'm going to figure out a way to pay for it. So if that means 4 more side hustles to get whatever, I'm going to do it or figure it out. And that's probably what makes us entrepreneurs so successful.
You also need to accept change, though.
Yes.
Like, you have to be willing to try new. Also, like, there is no failure, because with failure brings, learning and growing.
Right.
So, but to be able to accept that and say, you know what, that didn't work out this time. What do I need to do different? But then do different. Don't just stop. Don't just say, well, I tried. No, you didn't try. I'm sorry to anybody that's listening to this. You did not try.
Right.
No.
Because it's never going to go the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
So
Gotta
just
get
pick
back
back
up.
up. And you know what? If you need more information, go get the information, because it's available.
Get help.
Or a friend,
Yes.
somebody that keep you motivated, hold you accountable. Like, whatever that is, we all need connection. And so the people that are around you, I really felt like now the group that I'm in now with my business with Arbonne, and I love it so much, because every time I go to an event or I call somebody, they flood me with positivity. Let's do it together. I'm not alone. I work for myself, but I'm not by myself.
Yeah.
And I've made such great friendships, even more so through it, just opening up a whole new world. Yes, it is like a network marketing, multi-level, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of bad rep, but I tell you what, I love this business because I get to pick my team. I get to pick those people that are bringing me positivity. And if you are not positive, I'm not asking you to be in my business. So if you're listening to this podcast and I didn't ask you, sorry.
It's so funny.
But it's like, I really want, to find those people that are going to be surrounding me, because that's what keeps me going. And it keeps me wanting change and learning new. So, you never stop just in one spot. You have never arrived.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple things, resources and positivity.
Yeah.
We forget about the library. We have such a beautiful option for libraries in this city and a lot of cities across America. So if school is not your thing, which I know some people don't like school, you should like school if you're out there. It gives you good results if you do well in school. But there are so many resources, Google, everything else that's out there at the click of a button. And then talking to people to see what's worked for them and what hasn't. But the positivity thing is a must.
Yeah.
Even if you have to get up in the morning and talk to yourself in the mirror to stay positive. Yeah. It's a must.
I met a friend when I was younger, and she said, "I'm gonna take piano lessons." And saw her a couple weeks later. Said, "How are the piano lessons going?" She said, "I tried a couple lessons. That's not gonna work." And I'm going, "You tried 2 lessons and you can't play the piano, so you're quitting? Okay, it's just not your thing." We hope you find your thing, and we hope you've enjoyed today and that you keep going. If you've got something that's got you lit up and you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get it out of your mind, it's possible that that's your next side hustle. So figure it out, YouTube it, figure out somebody that's doing it, and follow what they're doing. But we're here to cheer you on, so get it together, y'all. We're here to help.
I'm going to the cheese.
Yes.
I'm not buying a car today.